Welcome back to ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. My name is Dave Benson alongside Kara Mack for the women's third place finals here at the New York Athletic Club. Dave Fink will be courtside and dealing with Oscar Obert and that crowd down there in the tin can behind the back wall. Very congested. If you are
sorry, the number we were looking for is number 1. So sorry.
Any type of phobias, they would all be exposed, Kara, back there on that court when you enter in here.
McMahon.
Right, yes. It is very tight back there, but there's a ton of people watching, and it just gets more and more packed in there and trying to find everyone who you want to talk to. But everyone has great things to say. There's so much energy behind there that you probably don't get to experience back here all the time.
Some positive energy.
Ireland, let's welcome E Ft McCarthy.
You get to see them all warming up, though, and stretching, and you have the interesting stories that I don't get to see either.
This is Martina McMahon from Ireland serving the big lefty for third place against E Ft McCarthy.
Dave, what do you think about this? The 4 final women are all Irish, and they talk about how much the growth of women handball is now in Ireland.
It's fast, and
0-0.
You can take a couple different stances on this. As an organization promoting handball, you can say we could deny it and not have it and not film it and take that angle, which I think is ridiculous. Or you can expose it and over-promote it as much as possible, hoping that you can inspire those in the States to do the same.
What does it say about the women from the States now who are playing handball? Are they not just getting other people to play with them? Are they not growing it with underneath, or what's going on there?
Yeah,
as far as we've
been talking about this for years now. Why, how can we try to emulate what is going on in the women's game in Ireland? But let's just face it, America has a lot of options. You grew up as an American girl, and you could have and did a lot of different things. Softball, and I mean, there's just so many programs available. Handball's not one of them.
2-0.
You have to find that needle in a haystack to get involved. Not in Ireland. I mean, they feel it's sort of like a needle in a haystack in Ireland, but it's a third or fourth or fifth choice. Handball in America is
3-0.
300th. 301, 2, and 3 choice if you're going to try to find a sport to play for a young girl or a young woman growing up. It's not that way in Ireland. It might be the third or fifth choice, and that's good enough. And what we're finding is top athletes like Martina right there with that great left-handed kill shot. She's great at other sports.
Exactly.
Kamoji, just like Sienna Nee. Kareen, another star in another sport, they're crossing over and saying, you know what, sometimes their parents kind of deny this a little bit and don't want them to come into handball, but their parents have to fight them a little bit and say, you need to stay in this other sport, not handball, and they say, sorry, I like handball more.
I mean, and I think as a parent as well, you want to put your kid in something, invest them, and because all their sports cost so much money that if you're going to spend money on other sports, you want to see something out of it. You want to see that college scholarship or whatever it might be, which even that's so far-fetched that it is, to me, it's a great sport, and if more people knew more about it or played it, you'd actually be a lot more popular, because it is, as young kids now, it costs so much to put them into sports that this is something that is just so natural.
That was an amazing kill shot to the left corner from E Ft McCarthy, and you just tapped into something that I know Dave Fink is listening here, and he could certainly step in and talk about those stats about parents who say, I'm going to have my daughter play tennis because there's more money in tennis. You want to know the stats of an American girl trying to make money in tennis? How many are making right now that are pros, Dave, in tennis?
There's about 100 women at the most in the world that are making a living playing tennis. And that's, just in the United States alone, you've probably got 5 million players that are all playing seriously. And that's just for a college scholarship. There's only 4 Americans in the world making a living playing tennis.
In retrospect, or I should say to put it into perspective, Kara, there are 12 women in this tournament right now. 6 are making money. So those that say, well, I'm going to do this and get them into tennis so, because there's more money in the sport, your odds of making money going in to play tennis, if that's your goal, which I don't think it should all be about that, but I know that these girls right here, they're playing not for money. They find a great workout on the sport. But if you were going to go and say as a parent, I'm going to put my son or my daughter in to a tennis program because I want them, they have a better chance to make money, they're not going to.
Well, Dave, just to go a step farther, I know a lot of girls who are amazing tennis players that won't even be able to get a college scholarship and they're putting in between $400 to $500 a week in training and equipment and traveling to tournaments, and that's money that they're never going to get back. Now, that's not to say it's lost because they're enjoying themselves, but
Dave, are these scholarships going to foreigners coming into a...
Well, some of them are, but you have to realize that each school only has 3.5 full scholarships, so to earn one of those, you have to be one of the top 100 girls in the country, if not top 50. And you're talking about 30 to 50 young girls playing at every club, all playing 20 to 30 hours a week with coaching and private lessons and
that's
traveling.
Just tennis,
yeah,
too.
that's just lots
tennis.
of money spent. That's a lot of money spent.
I mean,
you
you'd
look
figure
at
every
soccer
private lesson is $50 an hour, plus the clinics are 20. You're looking at just 200 alone in training costs, coaching costs, not to mention the strings and the rackets and the shoes and the traveling.
We saw McCarthy do this, Dave, yesterday against Katrina. She broke out really quick in the beginning and then kind of slacked off a little bit in the middle. Is this something that's coming for her?
Well, I'm surprised by the scoreline here, to be honest. I thought it would be the other way around about this point, but this can happen at any time with any player. You can get these quick runs, but when it gets toward the end, that's where you really judge to see either the character or the
6-3.
Their stamina. How are their lungs, their legs?
Remember how strong she came out
Yeah,
there yesterday
I was
against
very
Katrina.
impressed
She was
with
the
that.
first to
Like
score points against her.
Yeah, I think like 4-1, 4-0 type. And even maybe higher than that later, but then never scored again. And literally didn't score again in the second game. But I would have guessed that Martina would have had more than 3 at this point.
3 walls.
You're having the serve. She might be able to
Second serve.
gain a little bit here. And Dave was talking about tennis, but it's every sport now. It's not just tennis and skiing and those sports that have always cost money. It's soccer you travel a ton with, and softball, and everything's started at the age of 5 and 4 and has cost money ever since. And here you can just go to a park. I brought a handball back from the last tournament, Dave. My 6-year-old sons, they say they want to play handball now.
Yeah, I
They've
mean,
taken it to my kitchen. I don't know about that.
that's where you learn to play, is in the kitchen. Martina said she started playing at 7. I mean, look at this. So you're traveling from a foreign country to play the sport on your own dime.
When I've been asking all the players yesterday the 5 words, that describe handball to them, or why they love it. Yeah, hard, but also they've then talked about afterwards, why this, why that, because they love to travel and they've loved the experience of going to these tournaments.
Yeah, that's right. That ball just over the line there to the right side. Martina now starting to stay in the front court a little bit more. She made a good shot, but unfortunately for her, now you see E Ft Kara take a timeout there, and this is what happens. Your legs start, you can jump out to those early leads, but can you be like a Paul Brady where you can jump out but then continue on and continue rolling? Let's go to Dave Fink, who's courtside now.
Dave, I'm here with Katrina Casey and Sienna Nicharine. These ladies sitting next to one another watching this match. Katrina, you're watching 2 of your friends here. Do you find that difficult? Do you find yourself having to try to not cheer when you see a good shot to not offend one of the other ladies?
No, not at all. We're just happy to see that it's a good, well-contested game so far, and happy to cheer good shots. And there's been plenty of them as well, some great kill shots and long rallies too. So, yeah, I'm sure the girls won't hold it against us if we're supporting both of them anyway, so that's the main thing.
Sienna, this is your first women's race for 8 event, and you're already in the finals. What are you doing besides sitting here next to your opponent to prepare yourself for your upcoming final, which is going to take place in just about an hour?
Well, I'm not thinking about too much at the moment. It's just nice to see the girls playing a good game, so that always helps to you're around people who are playing handball, so that's good. And I'll just focus on the game then when the time comes.
Right now we're watching a really good match here between E Ft McCarthy and Martina McMahon. Different styles, but we've seen, like you said, Katrina, some unbelievable shots. I mean, both these ladies can end rallies from the deep court and you see just an absolutely flat kill there. What's changed about E Ft McCarthy's game in the last year, Katrina? Because we saw her give you a very good game, particularly in the opening of that first game. She actually led 6-1.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone can tell like that Aoife has increased her fitness levels like big time, and that obviously has had an effect on her confidence, and she's moving a lot better now. She's always had the shots, like, and she's one of the best off the back wall in the women's game as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, like, she could still maybe work on her self-belief a bit more, I think, but she's getting there.
Sienna, we're talking about women and playing other sports. I know that you're very competitive in camogie, I believe. How does that translate to your handball game?
Well, I think they both complement each other, as you know, you have to work on your fitness for both. Camogie would be more kind of long distance running and stuff, but it's just great to be able to get out and play different sports, like, so you're not playing too much of anything, you know.
All right, ladies, thank you very much. I'll let you get back to enjoying this match. Dave and Kara, back to you.
I think Dave is actually good for Martina's game, because when he talks, she scores.
Exactly. It's tied up suddenly. And she has the serve.
And it's kind of like that in the broadcast booth. When he talks, I'm drinking a glass of water. So
it's good for you.
That's a little.
It's good for your hydrating.
That's a little puppet joke. Geppetto. I don't know if anybody got that, but.
No, but I did get your Clyde the Glide yesterday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You were describing it, and it was just something natural. Exactly.
So you know all about it.
8-7.
Score here now 8-7. I mean, when you live in Rip City, you know who Clyde the Glide is.
Exactly. Yep.
9-7.
You don't ever forget that 89-90 team. No way. You feel like you know them all, too.
There's a hand air from McCarthy, who is now trailing 10-7, and it happened rather quickly. She was up 6-4. Now it looks like she can't even get Martina out of the front court at all.
You notice her head's going down too as she walks back.
Well, I think this is conditioning. Although she's in better shape.
Side out. $7-11.
You know, 7-11 stands for 7 o'clock in the morning and 11 o'clock at night, but they're open 24 hours a day. How can 7-11 do that?
It's amazing. The Slurpees, everyone goes for them.
I mean, your whole name is based on your hours. Did somebody ever think that they might change the hours sometime?
Then they wouldn't, you know, they have to be 7-11. Love their banana Slurpees.
I like how you get off the subject. I want to know about the hours. 7-11-24.
Point.
So they started off being 7-11?
Yeah, it meant that was what their hours were, 7 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. But they're open 24 hours a day.
Just thought it was a cool name. Man is taking over.
11-9.
These are the battle of the mix. Since we're talking about fast food chains, the winner will get a lifetime supply of McDonald's Happy Meals. This is where I have to just make up the next word.
Fruit and yogurt parfaits.
To be used only in Iowa. So
that could happen.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them to get there from Ireland, but
you know that there's a McDonald's there.
It could only be redeemed in person.
12-9.
In Dubuque, Iowa. Let's say that.
Yeah, makes it even more tough.
Friendly folk there, though.
Martina, she is the current doubles national champion here in America, and the successor of that is her opponent here, E Ft, who was the doubles national champion the year prior. Speaking of Iowa. Because that's where E Ft won with Katrina.
14-9.
Martina and Katrina won last year in Minnesota.
She's just 1 point away from going into the break here.
And she got it.
She seals it.
And we will have that 3-minute break, but I'm assuming Dave Fink will be courtside with Carl. I'm just joking. You're watching the WPH Race for 8. This is the NYAC stop in downtown, let's call it Upper Manhattan near Central Park, where they have a little mini marathon downstairs. Did you see that?
It's amazing.
How many people were here?
They're all running towards Times Square. And
I'm kind of surprised Dave Fink isn't there.
Well, I am here,
The
Dave.
man on the street.
I'm here with Mr. Obert, who's a national treasure, a handball treasure, a New York treasure, Hall of Famer. Mr. Obert, we had a good chance to chat with you during the last match about some of your background, but now we're going to have a little fun during this 3-minute halftime. We're going to ask you 5 questions. Okay. Could you describe handball in 5 words or less?
A game of thinking and physical. Most people think it's just physical. We won, I was 138 pounds, and I decided you have to use your mental 80% of the time for the win. The players we saw who were physical never won number 1. They were very, very happy being number 2, number 3. We were very sad. We won first place, then we came second. It was terrible, a terrible feeling. And so we came up with first place and no place. And we got 92 nationals, 1 wall, 3 wall, 4 wall.
Well, that was pretty close to 5 words. Now, if there was a movie made about you, who would play you in the movie?
That's interesting. There's a fellow, Willie Polanco. He got hurt. He's a colored fellow, but I trained him, and he became very, very, very good till he got hurt. But he thinks the way I think. You got to go in there to think. You don't think, you lose.
Okay, we're
There's 20 different types of
Score
plays.
is
People
9,
think they have 3 or
serves
4.
15.
I have 20. I got 27 different serves on the 4-wall court. On the 1-wall court, 20. And that's what you have to do. You have to extend yourself. People are always trying to catch you. They're always trying to catch you. Like I told a lady, I ran a Carl Lambert firm, 25 stores. She says, Carl, I want you to run the company. I said, on one condition. He said, what's that? We have to grow. He says, we don't have to grow. We're making so much money, we don't have to grow. I said, I'm not taking the job unless we grow. We're paying $2,880 electricity a month. In a year and a half, it went to $15,000 a month. Oil embargoes and everything, but I built 25 more stores.
15.
That's like your game. You got to build and keep growing. In doubles,
Side out.
I lost the game because my partner, he missed the last 3, and I would say, what happened to the other 18? 3 is 1/7. What happened to the 6/7? And in business, it's the same thing. We
15,
win or we
10.
lose, and that's a good rule.
Right now.
No.
Thank you for that. Now, this
Second
is just going to be a one-word answer. If there could be one player that you could beat, past or present in handball, who would it be?
In my mind, I could beat them all.
But if you had your choice, who would you like to beat the most in a match?
I would say Chapman. I gave him 1 more lessons, Peugeot lessons and angles. And
No, it's
after
a
we got
point.
together for a while, he said to me, Carl, you think you could beat me? I said, of course I'm going to beat
16-10.
you. He said, well, how? I'm not going to hit one to your opposite hand because you don't make any errors. He says, you're pretty smart. You know what I'm doing.
17-10.
And that's what it is.
Mr. Obert, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. Dave.
Thank you, Dave. Carl still continues to talk there about the interview as if it's still going. I thought for a second you were interviewing Herb Welsh, Dave, but that was Carl Obert.
So Dave, McMahon is taken away here, 18-10 with E Ft. Game 25, she
18-10.
has the serve. Carl has so much to say, and when he was answering that question about the movie star, the first person who popped into my mind was John Voight. I was just trying to channel him for that one word.
19-10.
I was thinking Steve McQueen, but since the
No.
question doesn't say alive or dead,
1 serve.
I mean, Steve McQueen playing you in a movie. Daniel Craig playing Carl Obert.
That's a good one, too.
A story on his life, that'd be perfect.
Martina was talking yesterday about how she doesn't have a sidearm like many Irish players.
But she
I
does
do
there.
notice that she does a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think it's there. You saw it right there as you were talking with her right hand, her offhand.
20-10.
She's a tall southpaw.
Negative.
Not sure what that cadence call was from the referee, the negative. I do like it, though. That's a tough serve to get back, too. So much power from Martina. And look where this ball hits. It clips that side wall. Smart play.
Point.
Now 21-10.
E Ft does a good job of getting to the ball, though, and taking that wide swing.
21-10.
Not taking as many steps to it, but getting her arm out there.
Well, great anticipation from the pros all around. You know, when you see something 20,000 times in your life and you're only 20, your mind will put you in the right spot to hit it. Just having some self-belief, being in shape. These tournaments are pretty rough. I mean, you have multiple rounds of play. You have to be not only in shape, but able to withstand what your mind is going through later when you're trying to go to sleep and you're cramping and you're trying to work out kinks and bruises, how to get over that and act like it doesn't exist when you play. A lot of players dwell on their injuries and it limits them.
22-10.
See a guy like Paul Brady, he could, you know, break a finger in a match and just keep going.
When you're injured, though, it's easy to do that, and then you start compensating and you make yourself more injured.
That was a slight mishit from E Ft, and Martina makes her pay for it. It's that small of a window that represented itself there.
23-10.
Martina talked about being so excited to be here, having this be her first pro tournament, and yesterday talking about the thrill of being in New York and traveling and having the excitement
24-10.
these pro tournaments. And her and Sienna both coming and making such a strong appearance.
That is
and
game.
there she does it.
Thank you very much.
You know, as we had one of the pros say at the last tournament, it is so nice to play on the finals day and actually get a win. You know, I mean, playing for third is normally not a big deal, or even might even happen in other tournaments because, you know, players really go there to win, and third place isn't something that's big. But here on the tour, it is big because points matter. You get invited to the Big Players Championship. You then qualify for bonus cash and bonus ranking points, and, you know, maybe even get a hotel and a flight paid for. You know, these are the things that can happen on the tour, and they all know that. So when you get down to it and you say, you know, I need to win this match because it will assure that I get to the next stop or with some assistance or even get more points or however it is. So then they try harder like it is a final. And then when you win one on that final day, it actually, you won a final because that's what it is. It's not just third place. It's a win on the last day. And then they get emotional on those, and you might even see some tears shed and all that other stuff, and you go, wow, this is special for them. I've been to tournaments before where they just kind of said, they'll play that on Tuesday, you know, after the event's over when they're kind of healed up a little bit. Here, you have to still act like a pro and put ice on your knees and go to bed early and all that other stuff for a third-place match, and it's just as important as the first one that you played in the tournament. So it was nice to see Martina McMahon get a finals win here, third-place finals in New York at the Athletic Club, where she just defeated E Ft McCarthy, both from Ireland. The Battle of the Mix. We're going to have more handball coming up right around the corner. It's going to be split between either the men's 5th or the men's 9th place, and so we'll have one of those coming up next. Looks like probably 5th place. For Kara Mack, Dave Vincent, Dave Fink, and Chris Grad, Jeff Kastner, and Linda Manning, Gene Cosimoto, and Lolita. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back. More handball here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app for the Race 4-8. Stick with us.